Hello, Nancy. Can you hear me? You are muted, as they say.
Yeah.
Now it should be muted.
That is correct.
And looks like Willie's here.
Yeah, Willie's here. Good old Willie's here. Okie dokie. How are you, sir?
Oh, is that Dave?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hi, Paul, it's Julie.
Hi, Julie.
Julie's visiting me and stuck
Oh,
in the
that's-
meter.
So I don't know exactly how I'm going to do this, but maybe I'll do this way. Yeah.
I figured out how to blur my background.
That's Paul. You didn't do anything.
I know.
There you go. Okay.
So let's see. Let me get rid of some of these things.
Was he
Wait a
at
minute.
the concert?
No, they were on the list.
Oh,
Can you see my screen?
yes. CPC article drafts.
Yep. Well, that's just the first one. I guess we're probably going to start with minutes. And probably the older of the 2 minutes.
Lynn was there last night.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Lynn.
Jumping right in, are we?
Right. We're testing out the share screen.
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
Testing everything.
And I'm just a shadow in Nancy's screen. It's Julie.
Julie's visiting and finds herself stuck in our meeting.
Oh, my goodness. That's fun.
I don't consider it stuck at all.
Okay. Well, thank you. Let's see who else is joining us. Let's see. We have
Willie.
Willie. Do we have Dave? We have Austin. In a minute, we might have Ellen.
We have Tony.
Yep. We have Tony. Anyone else showing up? No.
Where's all those FinCom people?
They do not want, in fact, we have very seldom seen Barbara and Deborah at our meetings.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes they check in and they check out quick.
I know, I think so. I think they think we're okay, Nancy. I don't know. But I did hear from Bob Vanderslice, and he doesn't want to see us until March 27th. I saw him.
What do we kill ourselves for?
I know. I felt that way too, Nancy. I said to him last night, I saw him at the concert, which, by the way, was wonderful.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
And I said, come on, he said, well, we've got everything scheduled, and we figured that we'll put you on the same evening with the public library. So, but you know what, Nancy, what this could mean is we may not need to meet again until then.
That's correct.
Well, that would be amazing.
That would be good. That would be good.
We are eating chocolate from last night's concert.
Oh, don't talk about it. Oh my gosh. I'm having Greek yogurt with, sun-dried with cranberries in it. It's not as good as chocolate.
Yes, but it's much more healthy.
I know. Well, that's all right.
What do you mean? Chocolate is wonderful. It's perfect for you.
Chocolate is wonderful.
Everything.
Right. It cures everything. That's right.
Oh, here is Ellen. Okay. So we have a good group tonight. Thank you.
Yeah. Hi,
All
Ellen.
right.
Hello.
Hi,
Sorry, I'm
Ellen.
a couple minutes late. I got distracted and lost track of time with my daughter.
I'll listen a little bit.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. And you know, it's still light outside. I mean, dusky. It's kind
Yeah.
of, here we are, change of seasons. All right, I'm Lynn Spencer. I chair Community Preservation. I am calling this meeting to order tonight on Monday, March 10th, 2025. Joining me are Paul Spurn, Ellen Goldberg, and Austin Antrim, who are representatives appointed by the Board of Selectmen. Dave Wilson from the Housing Authority, Nancy Catalmo from Open Space and Recreation, and I represent the Historical Commission. So we are called to order at 7:03, and we can start by reviewing minutes. So thank you, Paul, for getting, and Nancy for getting the February 24th minutes on the screen.
Just a minute. I have a CPC meeting. Yep. Every Monday till you hear otherwise. That would be nice, thank you.
Until you hear otherwise.
All right, so Paul, do you mind just sort of gently scrolling down through these minutes so people can
Sure.
see them?
Sure.
So this one gets a little bit more complicated with the library. So I did try to sort of pull in the whole story here. I think, Paul, you could probably scroll down a little bit further, please. I do want to make sure that I captured the ideas that were being suggested by the committee on the 24th, that communications needed to take place in the community about what's going on at the library, what the needs are, et cetera. So that's where we got the idea of an open house. Perhaps the monthly newsletter that Nori puts out could actually do something about building conditions, and then possibly a brochure and text with photos and text could be considered. I don't think we're necessarily talking about getting people into the library as communicating about the needs of the library and its capacity to serve the community.
Well, that's one of the ways to do it. But
Right,
doesn't
but
have to- doesn't
the
have to be
fact is,
everybody.
yeah, the fact is, Paul, that the open hours are not really conducive.
Yeah, I know. They have enough things to do.
Yeah.
Come and visit our dangerous library.
Right, hard hats distributed at the door.
Thank you. Thank you. Good. All right. Okay. Let's move down to the life-saving station. All right. Any comments or questions about these minutes?
Well done, Lynn. I don't know how you can do two things at once, but good for you.
What do you mean? I do
Well,
two things at once.
You're running the meeting and you're taking minutes? Oh, boy.
Oh, thank you. Let me just sort of ask the women in the room. Do you ever actually just do one thing at a time?
No,
No,
Okay, just mentioning. How about the men in the
Yeah.
room? Do you do more than one thing at once? Yes, of course you do. But
Not
yes, we
well.
all, I think we're wired that way myself.
Not with
Anyway,
distinction.
if there's no comments or edits, can I get a motion to accept the minutes?
I
I'd
would
like
love to do that. Oh,
Nancy
Nancy,
makes a
you were
motion to
first.
accept the minutes
Well, I'll
as well
second it.
written.
And yes, I'll second that.
Okay. All those in favor? Paul,
Aye.
Nancy,
I,
Ellen,
Hi.
Austin,
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Okay, minutes accepted. Well, that was so exciting. And then we've got another set of minutes courtesy of Austin.
Right, here we go.
I like Austin's font better than mine.
That's not the font I send it in. Does everybody receive it like that?
Yes.
Oh,
What
is
do you
that right?
send it? What
What
did
do you
it say?
send it
Yeah, what are you doing?
It looks a lot different on my computer. I'll have to check that.
in? Okay.
I
I just want to check if I shut my video down, whether the share still works. Does it still work?
Is
Thank
that
you.
because you're eating a ham sandwich or something like that?
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what
That's
I thought.
exactly right.
It's tuna with capers.
Oh,
That would be
God.
good. That would be good.
That's what he had one week.
Yeah, no, I have a
Nancy.
wonderful chicken dish that Ann made, so
Okay, good. All right.
I won't give any more details.
Um, can you keep scrolling down a little bit? Yeah. Um, all right. Any comments or edits on these minutes? Hearing none, can I have a motion to accept the minutes?
Nancy, that's your cue. All right, I'll move to accept.
Okay. And
I'll
who will second?
this time.
Okay, you guys just are reversing. Okay, all those in favor of accepting the minutes of March 3rd, 2025. Nancy,
I,
Ellen,
Hi.
Austin,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Paul.
All right.
Okay. Now, I of course neglected to say who would love to take the minutes tonight?
I can take them.
would
Thank
you
you.
love to take them? That was the question.
I know. Thank you, Ellen. Thank you, Nancy. I really like to get that extra little flip in there. Okay. So we won't go there, but let's go on to a piece of business that needs to be reviewed, and that are the articles. So Paul, are you able to put the articles on the screen, please?
Yep, there you go.
All right. So last week, we actually voted on 5 of these articles. The 6th, the public library was left pending because we had the benefit of Tony joining our meeting. He was going to do some checking on the library article with council and other officials. Tony, are you able to join us just to give us an update on where this stands? And Paul, can you scroll down to that article, please?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm here. Met
Yeah.
with, we sent over the information to bond council.
Mhm.
They are hoping to get us an answer by the end of this week, if not
Okay.
sooner, but we don't have it tonight.
Okay.
Allison and I talked with our representative over there, Abby
Mhm.
Jeffers, explained to her what we're trying to do, and they wanted to send it over to bond council to just get an answer for us, but they said they wouldn't have it to us until later this week.
So who's Abby Jeffers?
Our financial advisors, I forget the name of their company, obviously off the
Okay.
top of my head, I'm sorry.
Okay.
So she's one of our financial advisors, and
Okay.
we go through them for bond counsel for any borrowing type articles.
Okay. All right. So anyone, any comments or questions about what you've just heard? We have a complicated article because of the combination of bonding and the use of free cash, $200,000 of free cash to fund over $700,000 worth of work at the library, at the public library. And I think, Tony, it wasn't just a matter of bond counsel, but also how that free cash gets handled.
Right. We explained to them that we're hoping to pull that free cash from last year in an earlier article, and that ideally we would combine the borrowing through CPC with an appropriation of free cash for this article all in one vote. But they obviously, they said, well, you can do it separately. But our hope is to do it in one vote. It's just, if we do, how do you draft it? And what's the motion going to look like? Is it doable? So that's what our question is.
Okay.
Is there something more legally better to do it in 2?
I don't think, legally better, it's either legal or not, right? So
Okay.
if it's legal, I think our preference would be to do it in one article, right? Because then there isn't any there's already going to be the previous article pulling them funds from the previous fiscal year, which I am sure we're going to end up discussing leading up to town meeting and the day of. That part of the effort there is to be able to use those funds for the library. And then we're going to have this article for the borrowing through CPC for the library. And I feel like if you separate it and it ends up being 3 articles talking about a large amount of money for the library, it just becomes confusing. And it'd be better to just have it simplified in one article. That's
Tony,
my
if it-
thought, unless you guys have a difference in opinion, but that was my thought as far as the process that we take at town meeting.
Tony, could I check something out with you? If there's a bonding involved, it needs 2/3 vote, doesn't it?
Right. But 2/3 would cover the the simple majority of an appropriation. So just
Oh,
one
yeah,
vote would
exactly.
cover the two.
Right.
Either way, you're gonna need 2/3 for your vote.
That's right.
So I don't know. I that was my thought. And I'm happy to take input from the CPC.
I think I might have lost you when you referenced the potential of 3 articles.
So we have
There's-
the first article related to the town's portion is
Mhm.
actually voting to rescind an article from last year that appropriated $200,000
I
of free
see.
cash towards a different project,
Right.
which we are now going to fund with a different funding source. So the first article, we have to actually rescind that so that the free cash becomes available to us to appropriate at town meeting.
Mhm.
Then the second article would be appropriating those funds for whatever purpose.
Mhm.
And then you have yours too. So I thought, instead of having 3 separate articles, at least getting it down to 2 would be
Okay.
beneficial. But like I
Okay.
said, I'm open to comments if you guys have a preference.
I tell you what I have. I have a preference for whatever is going to pass through the town meeting with the least amount of friction.
Well, I could doubt, I mean, I don't, I think we share that preference.
Yep.
And I think that's part of the effort here.
Yep.
It can be confusing, and confusion can lead to friction, right? So that's kind of the idea.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I do think that there's a danger of that. So, when you have the article that rescinds the $200,000 from the meter operation, that's precedes this.
Yes.
Do you think FinCom or anyone else is going to say, oh, we can use that $200,000 over here and not at the library?
No, I think we're all, I think we'll all be on the same page as far as the strategy goes.
Okay.
It's actually kind of, so Robert's rules plays a little bit of a role in that article, where technically the discussion on the floor should be limited to the motion that is put forward, which is just to rescind the previous article. I mean, I'm sorry, to rescind the article from last year. So technically speaking, the discussion on that article should simply be about the fact that we have a better source of funds that allows us to do the meter project in a quicker manner at no financial negative to the town.
Right.
It shouldn't really get into a debate about what those funds are then going to be able to be used for at that time.
Okay.
So we've talked a little bit about that with legal and the current moderator and finance committee, and potential future moderator. So we're talking about that. So we'll all be on the same page leading up to town meeting.
Okay. All right.
May I ask a question about that? Isn't there some opportunity for the FinCom to kind of present an overview of what's coming? Are they permitted to do that?
They do that in their book. They'll do it in like a cover letter. They'll also do recommendations or supporting statements under the articles. I will also offer a supporting statement that'll be included in their book. And then leading up to town meeting, I do public meetings that are just briefings on all business that will be taken up at town meeting, and I do office hours and go to like the community breakfast or whatever other community meetings I can attend. So I think there'll be a lot of education prior to town meeting.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Well, as things go, I think this is a big item and deserves a place in any kind of overview of what's coming ahead at town meeting.
Oh, definitely.
I think the other part of this this discussion with the library is that we are retiring one of their prior bonds.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Right.
So. All right, well, it doesn't seem that other than sort of chewing around the edges of this, there's a lot of substance that we can do tonight until we hear from bond counsel and whoever else at town hall has got a has
Do you
got
have
comment
that-
on this.
Do you have that comment about retiring one of their other bonds in your supporting statement for this one?
No,
It may be worth
have-
adding unless you have it somewhere else under one of
I
the
do.
bond payments.
well, I have it under the bond payment, obviously, because it requires a vote.
Maybe you could maybe just like a simple reference to it so that anybody
Yeah.
looking just at this supporting statement, sometimes don't be, don't be offended, but I can imagine some people skip over the supporting statements for like the bond payment stuff. You guys do a great job writing them, and they're worth the
I'm
read.
shocked. I'm shocked that you would even dream of saying that.
But I can imagine people, they might miss it if it's not in the library bond for the new borrowing.
Then give me some direction here. Where is that discussion that you just referred to?
Keep going.
It's down here somewhere.
Stop.
Ah, okay.
Lynn, I did
I
see
think
mention of that in the supporting statement for the library.
Did I put it in there? Oh,
Yeah,
good.
Paul, if you
Brilliant.
scroll back up,
Yeah, I thought you did.
stop there. It's just before where the 500,000 is highlighted.
Okay.
Oh, perfect, with the advice yet.
Retiring
Retiring.
at
Yeah.
FY19.
Perfect, you got it already.
Oh, thank goodness.
Austin, if you said that earlier, I wouldn't have had to, made that
You
comment
you
about.
would have had to make an embarrassing comment about, my overwriting. Okay, fine. It's in the record now, Tony.
Strike it, please strike it from the record.
Thank you, Austin. You are the sharp reader. These things glaze over for me at a certain point. All right. I don't know if there's a lot we have to discuss tonight until we can get to this next week. Let me bring this thing up. I just was looking at Bob Vanderslice's request again for meeting on the 27th. I had agreed to attend an event honoring David Laurie, who you might recall passed away last year.
Right.
That evening. So I'm going to reach out to Bob to see if I can get rescheduled. But if I can't, who in this group would love to be at FinCom on the 27th?
Lynn,
Wow.
I think Bob Vanderslice has to rethink his schedule.
Yeah, okay, fine. I just saw a grin on Austin's face too.
I'm
That's
not
what the
sure if there's
screen-
many of us that could stand in at that meeting
Yeah,
creditably.
yeah. Well, thank you. You know what these meetings are like. They start out kind of cheerful and then they start pecking away at the edges. And then by the time you're out, you're down to the bone. But okay. I'll see if I will reach out to him to ask to reschedule that.
Okay.
Other than that, folks, I don't think there's a lot to do. I actually had misunderstood the schedule for FinCom. I thought there was a stronger urge to get this to the warrant than meeting at the end of March. Tony, are you still on?
Yes, I'm still on.
So when does this actually have to go to the printer?
That is April. It goes to the printer April 18th. But yet they usually use that last week, so the week of April 14th. They don't typically meet with other groups that week, unless they really need to. They usually use that week to finalize, the same process you guys are doing now is finalize their votes and supporting statements and cover letter and things of that nature. So ideally you want to have met with them by the week of the 7th, which is only, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks.
Yeah. Well, all right. I'm going to see if I can get that changed, because that then leads to finalizing the text that will actually go into the warrant. And then Tony, for the booklet, I assume that we're going to do another one of the booklets as you've done for the last couple of years on the CPA.
Yes, yeah, so same, it would be, now the booklet, you guys have, a little bit more time because that doesn't get mailed out.
Right.
So part of the FinCom's deadline has to do with the mailing.
Mhm.
And so you guys have a little bit more time than they do, but you want to be finished with that mid-April, as or that third week of April probably.
Yep. Okay. Well, I have to tell you, we've gotten tremendous support from Allison in the past on this, so I'll be reaching out to her again on that.
She's usually, so she's usually pulled heavily into the FinCom's world, trying to help them get their book done by the 18th. So,
Yeah.
at least if you guys have, I think you usually do kind of like an opening letter or cover letter or something like that. If you could start with that, and then she can help pull together the table with all the data that you need.
Yep. Yep. Okay. All right. Other business that this committee should address tonight?
Well, do I understand how we're trying to proceed here? We hope to get information from bond counsel back through our financial advisors, back to Tony. And Tony and Lynn put their heads together and come up with a document for us to read in advance of next Monday's meeting. Or perhaps if we're later than that, we do what we tried to do tonight, which is hash it out in public at the meeting. But I think those are the two options. And I just checked on the community calendar, and we do have meetings scheduled for next Monday or the following Monday if we need it. But that's all that we have currently on the community calendar. And hopefully we won't need any more.
Right. So I think the question for you, Tony, is, do you think bond counsel is going to get back to you in time for you and I to work on this?
Yes, I think we'll have an answer before your meeting next week. And that answer is going to tell us whether we can combine them into one article or not. Right? And
Okay.
if the answer is yes, then you have your supporting statement fairly worked out, right? Your
Yeah.
supporting statement is based on them being combined.
Yeah.
If the answer is no, then you have to adjust it a little bit, but you're still gonna reference the other article, maybe. I don't know.
Mhm.
So yeah, we'll have an answer for you. And then, the language of the motions we work on you know, over the next couple months here, those certainly, you know, you guys are never held up by the actual language of the motion.
No,
So.
no, we just handle our articles. Whatever FinCom wants to say about the motion is up to them.
Mhm.
What I'm trying to do is if we're not going to have anything substantive for next Monday, I'd rather cancel that meeting and meet on the 17th.
That
But
is
I-
next Monday.
No,
Yeah. it is.
excuse me, I'd rather cancel the 17th and meet on the 24th.
Uh-huh.
I think we should have an answer by Friday,
Okay,
if not
then-
sooner.
then that's great. We will actually plan on meeting on Monday, the 10th. Or the
17th.
17th. Yeah,
Right.
I'm in deadlines
Right.
this week,
You're
so
in-
I'm all
you're
set
right.
very
Yeah, you're in-
confused.
You're in daylight weekday time.
Right. So, with that, folks,
Knows missed us.
I think that we could look, unless there's any more business for us to discuss, I could be looking at a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second, Nancy.
All right. All in favor of adjournment? Nancy,
Aye.
Austin,
Aye.
Paul,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Ellen.
I.
Chair votes aye. Almost a record meeting, folks.
Almost.
But,
I think it,
But next week, I hope we can actually get to the end on this article, because I
Right.
would like to really then
Yeah.
say, you are free not to meet until we need to prep for
Right.
the town meeting itself. And,
Right.
and while we've got you, Tony, give us exactly the date of the town meeting that everybody needs to show up and be cheerful for.
May 17th.
Mhm.
And I mean, I wouldn't, I know, just because you have time, I mean, obviously you guys have other things going on, but you can start working on the cover letter or whatever you want to put in as
Yeah.
a narrative to the book. And then, you know, all that's left there is for Allison to fill in some blanks with numbers and this and that. And we can get a proof going. But May 17th is town meeting. So, you know, I think we want to get a proof. Let me get an answer from our printer, but I would suspect your deadline would be the 25th on the book, if FinCom's is the 18th. It may
Okay.
go into that next week, but
All right. All right. Well, thank you, Tony. Good.
okay.
Yep.
All right.
Great.
And thank you for letting me attend. This is Julie.
Thank you, Julie. Don't you miss being on FinCom and being our person?
You know,
Come on.
I really do. I really do. But my life is too crazy.
Well, all right. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
night now.
Good night.
Good night.
Good
Thank,
night.
thank you.
Bye.
So you can. He's gonna kick you out anyhow. Oh.